Welcome guys. This is a ultimate claw guide on how to play claw with 3-finger claw, 4-finger claw and even 5-finger claw. This video will give you an idea on how to create your own personalized layout and few settings. But first you need to know few things before you play claw. Touch issues or accidental touches. Sometimes your joystick automatically moves without even touching it, or maybe sometimes your aim becomes unresponsive, example like this. That's because your wrist or palm accidentally touches in the edges of the screen in these areas, and your device will register that touch, and it will cause some touch problems. To fix these issues, you just simply need to avoid touching the screen with your palm, which I will tell you later in this video, but here is a tip to avoid this issue. Try to use thick and big phone cases, such as bumper cases or high protection cases, which will prevent your palm to touch the screen. By the way, using phone cases will also give you better grip to hold your phone. Normally phones have a glass back, so it will be slippery and harder to hold. However, using phone cases will heat up your phone. That's why I always recommend you to use a bumper case like these. Here are the timestamps if you want to skip and go directly into the topic, but watch the full video to understand about the claw. Starting with 3-finger claw tutorial. This is how you would normally hold your phone with 2 fingers. To switch from 2 fingers to 3, you need to either use your left index finger or right index finger for claw. Most people prefer to use left index finger, but it's still your personal preference, use whatever you like. You need to bend your fingers in this shape, bend as much as you can. But don't bend too much or put too much pressure, as it might injure your finger. And another important thing is to avoid getting touch issues by giving a little bit gap between your phone's screen and your finger. Try to maintain 1 centimeter gap as possible, otherwise you might experience touch issues. And now I will try my best to help you find your optimal layout settings. This is where you need to keep all your most useful controls, otherwise it's going to be harder for your fingers to reach. Use either fire button or scope button for your index finger, depending on what you like, but I would recommend using the fire button. And this is the final layout of 3-finger claw. You can take some inspiration from this layout and make your own, and check description for more layouts. Now the settings and sensitivity. Set your peak and fire enabled. And I highly recommend using peak and open scope disabled because it will give you more customization, but if you find it hard to use, you can enable it. And lean mode and scope mode, I set both of them in mixed because I think it's the best option in my opinion. But you can always try and figure out what works best for you. And now for the sensitivity settings. I will make a separate video for that in next few weeks, but I already made few videos in past, you can check them out, links are in the description. How long does it take to learn 3-finger claw? Well, 3-finger claw is the easiest claw you can learn, and it doesn't take that long. But at the beginning it might feel like it's hard, but trust me, you will start seeing your improvements in next few days. And now the 4-finger claw tutorial. Almost everything is similar to 3-finger claw, but with an extra finger. Now you have to use both the index fingers, and the most important thing is adjusting the buttons according to your finger size. If you can't press or reach the button comfortably, then adjust as according to your needs. Try to bend your fingers, example like mine, or in a similar way that you feel comfortable. It will prevent you from touch issues, and maintain a little bit distance between screen and fingers, at least 1 centimeter gap. Otherwise, if your skin accidentally touches your screen, your device will register, and it will cause some touch issues. For layout and settings, I would recommend to use your favorite streamer or YouTuber's controls and customize that settings according to your like. Or else you can also create your own layout, or you could take inspiration from your favorite player and make your own layout similar to them. You can also copy the sensitivity, but sometimes it may not work for your device, so you need to customize sensitivity settings a little bit. If you use my layout or similar to mine, then lean and scope mode works best in the hold. If you use different one, it might be different. Try and find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And now about the learning process. How long does it take to learn? I would say it will take around 1 day to get used to new layout. If you're really new to the claw, it might take longer. But it should take you about a week to get to know well about your layout and build up the muscle memory. When you're learning something new, you should always practice in training mode. There will be some training drills in end of this video. Practice those drills and play few team death matches. But don't jump directly into classic match, you will definitely die because it's hard to understand your controls, so practice first and then after an hour or so, play few classic matches. You might play really bad at the beginning, but after some time you will get better. And now to the 5-finger claw. This is where the trouble begins. 5 fingers isn't easy as 3-finger claw or 4-finger claw. Your brain needs to process a lot of information quickly in order to react and move your fingers, and some people will struggle to hold the phone with 5-finger claw. I actually made a full guide on 5-finger claw a few months ago. If you want to know more about it, check that video out, but here is a simple and small guide. Similar to 4-finger claw, you just have to add an extra finger, which is middle finger. You also need to bend the middle finger like mine. And you might need to rotate your wrist. It might feel weird and painful, but try to find the most comfortable way you can hold your phone with 5 fingers claw. And you also need to give a little bit gap between your phone's screen and fingers to avoid getting touch issues. Now to the settings and sensitivity. Here are my settings. My settings are inspired by Coffin and Yinghuan Q, and I customized a little bit according to how I like to use. Learning process. How long does it take to learn? 5-finger claw might take a while to learn. I don't know exactly how long, it totally depends on you. You might learn in just one day or maybe a week, but it would take you around 1 to 2 weeks to build up the muscle memory. Now to the training drills, that will definitely help you to practice in a better way. First drill is shooting a different target. In the next drill, you need to use peek and fire. And now crouch while doing everything as previous. You can also practice this crouch and fire drill, example like this. And now the jump and fire drill, choose a target and track while jumping and fire.